So Adam, obviously you've not long finished the playing days as well. Probably about 2 years, I think now, is it? Something like that.
Yeah, just about. Yeah. Probably a bit longer if you actually saw me in the pitch, but yeah.
Yeah, I did mean officially. So what's your thoughts of the transition? Because again, you've gone into coaching, doing a great job at Quins. And obviously, again, that mate's transition versus, I'll call it fatherhood figure that Sean said, which I think is absolutely right. But the respect changes, the thoughts change towards you.
Well, I was lucky enough to, lucky enough to have a chance to go and play in the Quins with Conor O'Shea and John Kingston, with a separate sort of job to mentor, if you want, some of the props we had. So we got, obviously when I was going there, we had Sinclair was a young kid, Will Collier was a young kid, and then you had Joe Marlowe, I played against, but still, as we know, Joe could be a bit, he's a bit different. So, Conor wanted me to sort of mentor them, and that was a massive deal. No, it was a draw to me. I kind of see it was coming towards the end of my career. I'd gone from a pretty, quite high to then all of a sudden a massive low, being dropped and retiring and all this stuff. And so it's something I always wanted to do, and it was a perfect chance to work with, these up and coming props, two different, in Will and Kyle, two very different characters. One's, from a council estate in Battersea, and one's in a slightly more affluent area and a slightly different background. And then obviously Marla and the other boys. But as I said, I was very lucky to do it. I was lucky to have the chance, even when I wasn't playing involved, at John Kingston, give me the chance to coach from. So I've been scrum coach really now, probably about 3 or 4 years really, because I had, I sort of dipped my toe in with when I was still playing, and then when Graham Roundtree came in, he allowed me to take the scrums, and it's been a constant, it's been a constant I've been doing now for 3 or 4 years. So what I have found is a lot same with Longy, because I played with the boys. I find it hard to critique them or to be too hard on them. So it's taken me a while to realise what the different personalities needed. So, for example, someone like Kyle would needs an arm around his shoulder. Well, it did then, and he's probably not so much now, but, whereas Joe, because I played against him and, because I'd done pretty well against him, I was able to tell Joe, I was probably one of the lucky coaches, I can tell Joe, call a spade sort of thing, rather than having to, listen to some of the bullshit he puts up with. So, I was, but I did, certainly around, I found it hard I was a bit pally with them and still played with them, gone from, even when I was playing, I still coached them a bit. So, I found that pretty difficult. And then, again, for me, the big thing for me it's always learning. As much as scrummaging is very, it's pretty black and white what you do, but, there's always little different technical issues, different traits, so it's probably not as complicated as attack, but, or a line out maybe, but, there's always stuff you're learning, and there's always stuff, I guess I went in with a bit of an ego thinking, yeah, I know everything about Scrum, but certainly in the last 3 or 4 years I've learned I probably don't even know 75% of what's going on sometimes. And so it's always building up and learning different techniques, different traits. And, I watch a lot of Scrum, so, probably the more, as long as he watches a lot of rugby, Scrum's kind of the thing I focus on first and foremost, and then I'll watch the game after. So, it's a lot of, I think, as I said, I probably have to leave my ego at the door a bit, and, I'm more open to ideas now. I'm open to the boys challenging, open to certainly. It's not just my way or the highway. It's my, we're happy to, we have a good discussion with the front row now. It's kind of we meet, every Monday up in Starbucks in SSP, and we have a more of an informal chat. And any clips I need to show them, I'll show them. But it's more of a coffee club, rather than we all know it's probably the toughest position on the field, being the front row. So it's I try to take, make it as easy as possible for them.
And I guess the point you make about video is that plays a bigger and bigger part all the time. So being able to replay and say, look, have you seen how you're not binding quite right, or the feed's not working, whatever, gives you a real opportunity to share and discuss easier.
Yes, it's a lot. A lot of it's done on the Sunday, and then individually on the Monday. But I think certainly with certain players with us, and when you come to the scrum, it's a lot of it's attitude. And sometimes we haven't quite got that, so it's trying to get that, coax that out of them, which sometimes we have, but we're so inconsistent at the moment. That's the frustration. This me then again, as a point Chris Robshaw made to me at the end of last year, that I needed to manage my frustrations. Being slightly, I'm not hot-headed, and it takes a lot to sort of wind me up and bridle me, but it would take me I guess coming from Wales, you get bollocked more. The coach would shout a little bit, like having Lynn Jones coach me. These type of guys, they're a little bit more straight to the point, and the Welsh boys kind of take it a bit easier for me than the English boys, certainly in Quins. So where I was trying to be hard and shout, just to get my point across, Rob would just said, look, we don't need that. So as I've certainly tempered my losing my shit so much now, and it's all done. I try to do it in a slightly less aggressive, confrontational, annoyed and angry manner now. So which is something I've learned over the last sort of 6-7 months.
So you're learning new skills then.
Yeah, I think it's because I do, like most scrum coaches, you love scrummaging and love the scrum, and you just get passionate about it. And when the boys are, not quite where they need to be, when they can be up there a lot better, it's how I manage my frustrations around that. I think has been a big learn on this year.